Let's cross to Washington. Our correspondent Kethevane Gorjestani is there. She's been looking at how the United States may respond to all of this. Kethevane, within the last few hours, we've heard the White House calling the events in eastern Ukraine an invasion. How significant is the use of that word?
It is very significant because it was the Deputy National Security Advisor, John Feiner, who said earlier this morning on U.S. media that this is the beginning of an invasion. He was asked a couple of times about it, and he said, "I don't know how else I can tell you. This is the beginning of an invasion." The reason why it's so significant, it's that all the way up to this morning, it was really hard to get an idea from the White House as to what exactly they would consider a further invasion of Ukraine, which is the wording that they've been using to talk about when those severe sanctions would be triggered. And last night, we had a briefing call with the senior administration official to talk about the first sanctions that the United States announced. And that official was asked multiple times, well, if those troops, those Russian troops, come to help out, if you will, those separatist regions, will you trigger those sanctions? Is that an invasion for you? And that official really danced around that answer and wouldn't really commit to what they would define as an invasion. And so the fact that you're now seeing a few hours later this morning, the White House now fully embracing the word invasion is really a significant change in the posturing of the White House.
Kethevane, within the last few hours, we've heard from the United Kingdom, sanctions there being announced on a number of Russian banks, on several Russian billionaires. Should we expect similar measures from the United States soon?
Well, it's very hard to know exactly what type of sanctions. We've already had really the first small sanctions that were announced yesterday. Joe Biden signing an executive order basically banning all trade and financing from Americans in those two regions. It was really criticized by being really not a sort of sanction because it was very limited, and how much trade is there really between the U.S. and Donetsk, for example. But senior administration official told us that there would be more sanctions announced today. When will that be? We don't know exactly, but Joe Biden will be speaking later on today. His agenda was just updated. He will be speaking around 2 p.m. Washington time, and we are expecting that maybe the president himself will be announcing what sort of measures, what sort of sanctions the Americans will be going for. They have, of course, welcomed all the announcements from other allies, whether it was the UK or, of course, that announcement by the Germans about the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which, of course, the Americans were really against and had said themselves that if there was an invasion, Nord Stream 2 would be dead in the water.
Kethevane Gorjestani in Washington, thanks very much indeed for your reporting this hour.